Gonna need the sunglasses for this one. Look at that sun. Look at the way it just. It's wild. Yes, son, I see you. There's something that I wanted to talk about in this video that it's something that I was thinking about today because I was kind of like thinking about what it was that I was going to talk about in this video, but this is also something that I have thought about before. And I look at, like the trials and the tribulations, the grievances of life, the things that people go through, right? The challenging, painful times, right? And specifically, I look at actors. I have looked at this before and I've thought about it. And, like if an actor is going through something, some type of grievance, whatever it is, maybe it's just, I don't know, relationship issues, but it's really challenging, right? Like, if they're casted, if they're hired for like a movie or a show, like they have to put themselves into character, right? And it's also fascinating when the character that they end up playing actually has something to do with like whatever it is that they're going through. But yeah, I've always looked at that and I've been like, damn, that's got to be hard. It's got to like, and I guess that it could be for like any occupation, right? But like when it comes to acting, like you're on camera. Like you're putting yourself into another character. And I can imagine that that's really challenging, especially if you're going through something and like it's like it's like you've got to forget about your problems. You've got to forget about the you that you've played day in and day out. And, night in and night out. You've got to like set that aside and then put yourself into, I don't know, John Wick, for instance. And I think it's funny that I say John Wick too because I've heard that Keanu Reeves has gone through a lot of shit. Like he's experienced a lot of stuff. It's just wild that a person can be casted as an actor for a movie or a show, and like while their life is fucking falling apart. It doesn't matter what it is. Like what matters is that there's pain there, and the pain can be distracting enough to like just fuck everything up, right? But again, it's like they take this face and they take it off and then they put themselves into character and then they go live. It's like I've looked at that before and I'm like, how the fuck do you do that? Like you've got to be really good. Like your entire life is falling the fuck apart, right? Regardless of what's happening. I'm not trying to judge here or like validate or invalidate. Like, to each his own. Like, some people take things differently than other people do. But like, if you're an actor and your life is falling the fuck apart and you can still like, take the face that you're used to everyday life, you can take that off and then go into character. Like, shit. That's got to be difficult. I genuinely think that that's got to be difficult. And, I look at it and it's like, there's a level of discomfort when a person is depressed. I think that I've experienced this before, by the way. There's a level of discomfort when a person is depressed and either literally or metaphorically they step themselves into a cold shower. That cold shower is just like a really uncomfortable situation. In this case, I'm talking literally. I'm pretty sure I've been in this scenario because I take cold showers myself. But like when you don't feel like doing something because you're just looking at your life and you're like, fuck. Like it's getting to the point where you're like, like it's frustrating, right? Like there's so much pain. Like life just keeps left hooking and right hooking you and uppercutting you, and the punches don't stop coming. And now you've got to take off your daily fucking facade and you've got to step in front of a fucking camera and you've got to enter this intimate fucking scene with this other person. You've got to set all your fucking problems to the side. You've got to forget about yourself, and you've got to put yourself into that. Like, damn, that's got to be challenging. That's got to be genuinely challenging. And I think about this kind of stuff because, like, in the pain that I've experienced in life, sometimes it's really challenging for me to just do what I know I need to do, or do what I know I want to do. Like, there's just this heavy fucking weight on my shoulders, and like, there are these voices inside of me being like, no, let's just not do it. Let's fucking breathe. Let's take a second. And it's okay to listen to that stuff. I just fucking admire the hell out of the people that, especially like the actors, right? They're fucking forgetting themselves. They're like, like Keanu Reeves to the side, John Wick, here we go. Like, it's like, holy shit. Like, that takes skill. I would argue so. And that's something that I wanted to talk about in this video, because I've thought about it for a while, because, I mean, I've taken acting classes in New York City. I've done, like, improvisation and everything. And I've thought about the actors that are going, because, like, actors are humans. They're people just like us, right? As far as I know. And, like, they go through shit. And they can't just, like, not go through shit. So if they're going through shit, they can't just, like, turn their shit off. Like, they've got to do their fucking job despite their shit being there, right? So it's like, fucking divorce? Well, I'm gonna set the divorce aside for a second. Maybe I can, grab a fucking bottle later on and, do what I need to do to throw myself into fucking oblivion. But for now, I've got to throw myself into character for John Wick, or for fucking, I don't know, who, like, it's wild to me. It's like, that in and of itself is a skill. It's a skill just as much as, like, being able to breathe yourself through a fucking anxiety attack. Like, I had to go through a lot to learn how to actually, like, regulate my breathing and, like, take control of my fucking breath, as to not have anxiety attacks and not slip into fucking, depressive shit. Like, fuck, the skill required to do some things in life. I look at specifically, like, being an actor. Like, you're casted? Shit. You've got to learn to take your fucking daily facade off and throw yourself into character, and you've got to forget about your fucking problems. I'm just mind blown by that. Like, it's like, whoa, like, people can actually do that. Like, shit, that requires skill. So yeah, I was looking at that, and I was just thinking about it, because this is something that I've wanted to talk about for a while, because I'm just so fascinated by it. Like, is it possible to forget about yourself and put yourself into another character while you're going through something really fucked up that's so very fucking painful? I guess it is. And I think that actors, and probably other people in different occupations, do the same thing. But, like, like, once you get back into the character of yourself, it's funny that I say that, character of yourself, because we're all kind of, like, just characters, right? It's like we play characters. We get lost inside of characters. And I think that in and of itself is what's actually the most fascinating thing about all of this. It's not just that, like, a person gets casted and they end up playing the part of another person, but, like, the person that they're playing in life outside of what they're casted for is also a character. Like, Chris is a character, right? Keanu Reeves is a character. Jim Carrey, I use that purposefully, or on purpose, is a character, like, and that's what's so fascinating about it, really. I love looking at it like that.